Konnichiwa, Satoko desu. Welcome back to my easy Japanese lesson. Well, today we're going to learn the simplest way to order food and drinks in Japanese. You know, when you go to Izakaya in Japan, this is very useful. And if you don't know what Izakaya is, well, Izakaya is a traditional Japanese bar and normally comes in a tapas, so you can share with your friends and family, you know, many dishes and stuff. So it's kind of fun. So let's get into it. So this is kind of like something please in English. So this is how we say something o onegai shimasu. So something is of course the object, the things that you want to order. And o, this is a particle. I call it bridge word. So the particle is like in or at or, you know, for, that kind of words. So o, and then you say onegai shimasu. It means please, or translate it as please. And if you want to say casually, you can always remove shimasu and just say onegai. So you can just memorize it. Before onegai shimasu, the particle o comes. So it's like a double o, right? O onegai shimasu. So this onegai shimasu, we're gonna break it into it. So onegai, negai, it means wish. But the first o, this is the o to make the Japanese word politer or softer. So onegai. But when you use this onegai shimasu, you must have this o, the words to make it politer. Because we don't say negai shimasu, we always say onegai shimasu, okay? And now this shimasu, it means do in a polite way. So it's really, onegai shimasu is really do wish. That's really what that means. Therefore, please. Okay, so like I said, onegai shimasu is politer. And if you want to make it casual, you can just say onegai. And occasionally, when you're talking in a casual way, we actually remove the particle and just say onegai. So something onegai. That's a very casual way, okay? But I would like all my students to know the particle before removing it. Okay, so make sure you know particle before removing it, all right? So, but that's a really casual way, you know, something onegai. So I would recommend most of the cases using something o onegai shimasu. Now, let's move on to some new vocabularies for food and drinks. So let's start with the food. So the Japanese food, that's the most popular Japanese food, of course. Everybody should know. That's sushi. When we say in Japanese, we say sushi, sushi, or we say osushi. Do you remember this o? We just learned it. That's o to make the Japanese word politer, right? So we say osushi. And now, sashimi. So again, the accent is a bit different. We say sashimi. And of course, we can add o because this is Japanese word. I'm thinking about food now. Okay, so we could say osashimi as well. Sashimi or osashimi. Now, moving on to ramen. Oh, I love ramen so much. But ramen, remember R? We don't have the R sound in Japanese, so we pronounce it like L, right? So we say ramen. And this ramen is actually a Chinese word. This word came from China. So we don't add O in front of ramen because it's not a Japanese word, okay? Now, tempura. So if you take a look, you may have noticed the spelling difference. So in English, we said tempura, right? In Japanese, we said tempura, tempura. So it's like number 10, 10. And pura, remember again, there is R there, so we pronounce it like L. Tempura, that's how we say. And I believe this is Japanese food. However, I wouldn't add O in front of tempura. I wouldn't say o tempura. I don't know why. But tempura is tempura. Okay? Now, bread. For French speakers, this is super easy because it's the same word as French word. So bread is pan. So it's not pan. We don't have the e sound in Japanese, and so it's more like pan. All right. So now let's moving on to drinks. So the most important drinks. It's not beer, everyone. It's not beer. It's water. So water, we said mizu. Okay. And this word we can add o and say omizu. That's a polite way. And now everyone's favorite, well, at least mine, that's beer. We say biru. And again, there is R there, so we pronounce it like L and say biru. And again, this is not a Japanese word. This came from probably maybe same as German. And so we don't say obiru, okay? And this draft beer is very, very popular in Japan. And so when we go to Izakaya, nobody orders a canned beer, okay? Always draft beer. So draft beer, we say nama biru. So nama, it means raw. And so it's like nama biru means raw beer. But nama biru, that's a very popular one. You gotta order it in Japan. And now, moving on to sake. What sake, we pronounce it sake. So it's not sake. The end as in cans ke, sake. And this is a Japanese word, so you can add o in front of it and say osake, and that's a politer way of saying it. And also there is another way of saying sake. So that is nihonshu. So nihon, it means Japan. And shu, it means sake. Well, you might say, well, you just say sake is sake. Well, it's because this Chinese character, it means sake, okay? And there are two ways of reading it. The first way is sake or sake, and then the second way is shu. So the shu came from this Chinese character. So Japan sake, and it means sake or sake. So let's do a little practice here. So if you want to order at the izakaya the draft beer, can you order it now? So draft beer is nama biru, right? So you're just going to add nama biru right here. So you say nama biru o onegai shimasu. Nama biru o onegai shimasu. Okay. So now the last part. Let's say you went to a restaurant, there is a menu and there is a picture. And if you want to point out and say, this one please, can you say it now? Well, let's review first. So this, we say kore, right? That is are. It is sore, right? So now, just ignore this one and just say this please. That's all you have to say. So, kore is this, right? So you say, kore o onegai shimasu. Kore o onegai shimasu. And if you want to point out that one please, you would just say, are o onegai shimasu. And also this onegai shimasu, and you can also use it when you want to get the attention from waiter or waitress at the restaurant or izakaya. Okay? And you can say, sumimasen, it means excuse me, and onegai shimasu. So sumimasen, onegai shimasu, it means excuse me please. So this is a very good sentence to remember as well. Alright? So today's lesson was the simplest way to order food and drinks in Japanese. Thank you for watching, guys. どうもありがとうございました. If you still haven't, please subscribe. And if you like, please press the like button. ありがとう. And I'll see you guys on our next lesson. じゃあね. Bye bye.